Welcome to House Heist. So today we are in a historic neighborhood and we're going to show you how we're going to heist this home.
Yeah, they got the right price. This ain't no game. It's a house heist. It's a house heist.
Around here we call it a house heist, meaning get the knowledge before you discuss price. So when investments knock, you be there to answer. Then you can be the boss just like Tony Danza. Talk to him. Gab and Herb gon' hit you with the word. So open up your mind and be prepared to learn the best tips for the flip. Yo, it's lit. I'm talking larger stakes on larger stakes.
It's
Come
a
on.
house heist.
You know, people always ask us, how do we do what we do?
They always ask us, how can I make money in real estate? Or how can I do what you do?
So today we're going to show you.
Follow us as we show you how to take this unit right here that we just purchased and make 4 different incomes off of it. One income, we can flip it, or we can sell individual units, or we can do short-term rentals, or we can do long-term rentals. It's a gold mine.
Well, I love the area. It's so convenient to absolutely everything. Near the interstate, near schools, near parks. So let's go take a look at it.
Let's walk inside. They're working in here right now anyway. I bought you something. Surprise!
I can't believe you bought this without me. You go, I'm surprised. So tell me about it.
Well, it was original 1-bedroom, 1-bath, but we need to convert it to a 2-bedroom, 2-bath.
Okay.
It has all that old knob and tube wiring, so we got to rewire the whole place. We got to run new plumbing. We got to run new electrical. We got to put new windows. We got to put new structure in here. We got to put
That
new
sounds
roof
like a
on
huge
here.
undertaking.
You know they never give us easy stuff.
Always the hard stuff.
Always the hard stuff. I looked at the numbers in the area and I thought it'd be a great investment if you really think about it, because they have little small homes selling for $300,000 and $400,000 over here. But I saw this. I said, hey, we can take 4 units, sell each individual unit for high twos, and make a profit. But now we got a lot of work to do.
I was gonna say this is a lot. You're gonna have to show this to me.
Well, I mean, the wiring is old, the plumbing is old, the HVAC is old.
The whole place is old.
Yeah, it's historic. It's historic. And of course, historic, you got to do a lot of work. But they never get us the easy stuff, and that's why we make the most money.
True. This looks like a small bathroom. Is this the bath?
No, it's not no bathroom. That's the laundry room.
Oh, laundry. Okay.
Yeah.
So you
It
doing
was in the
laundry?
basement.
Okay.
So we brought it upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So each unit will have a laundry?
Uh-huh. And each bedroom has its own shower.
That makes it convenient. Oh, these windows.
Yeah, each window has to be replaced. Put it like this, it's 53 windows in this building. Each window has to be replaced in this building.
Oh my gosh. You get stuck in here.
Only your head will.
With a multi-unit building, it's not just the interior you have to consider. You also have to consider how the prospective buyer will use the exterior space as well.
Hey!
Oh! I didn't think you were going. Oh my God!
You want to go in the porta potty? I thought you looked for the restroom.
Not ever. I don't want to use that. So I'm just kind of looking around to figure out the parking for this place.
So right here, as you can see, it's a retaining wall. Parking will be for those 2 units up top. But the people down below can park right here too. But parking in front is for them.
Okay. So how many parking spaces does each unit? Will it be assigned parking or how will you?
So right here, we'll be able to get 1, 2, 3, 4 parking spaces right here.
Okay.
And then in the front, we'll have about another 2. And then we can actually make that parking down below too if we wanted to.
Okay. I love the deck.
Do you really?
I just don't like that railing. I'm trying to figure that part out.
Yeah, we'll make it work. No issues. Coming up on House Heist, I sit down with a fellow house flipper and we give you all the inside information on what it takes to make it big in this business. So today we're talking to Matthew Gregory, one of the well-known investors in the business like myself. I'm excited to meet this guy. I've heard so much about him, and his work is phenomenal like mine. So let's go meet with him.
What's up, man? How you doing? Good, brother. Good to see you. Yes.
Come on in. So today we're here with the legendary Matthew Gregory, and if you haven't seen this guy's work, it's phenomenal. Matthew, you don't mind me asking, what got you into this business?
So I really love real estate, always have. When I was young, I got married in '97, and my wife and I bought our first fixer-upper, moved into it, worked every night, every weekend, rehabbing it, and to move into it, and have our kids there. And I got the house reappraised after we got everything cleaned up and painted, and it had some equity in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I can make a living doing this. Yeah. And at the time, you didn't have really the gurus out there teaching it. Mm-hmm. So I kind of had to learn on my own.
Yes.
So, I really love doing it, man.
What was your biggest challenge when you first started off? I know mine personally was contractors, finding a quality contractor, because I got some shiesty work sometimes. So.
Yeah.
But what about
I've
you?
had that too.
Yeah.
So probably the biggest obstacle at first was probably finding the money.
Yeah.
So I had to borrow what I could, credit cards, credit lines, whatever I could do. We struggled for a few years trying to figure it out, and so hiring contractors was always a big obstacle. So I became a contractor.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
I learned everything I could. I'm a licensed builder, and kind of built my own construction company inside my flipping business.
What's been the largest flip you made, or profit-wise, or just square footage-wise?
Okay, so I did a house last year in an area of Birmingham.
Okay.
And it sold for 1.25 million.
Oh, wow.
So it had pretty good margins. I purchased it for 500 grand.
Okay.
And put about 400 grand rehab in it.
Oh, wow.
And it turned out beautiful. It's about 6,000 square feet.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
So
How long did it take you to rehab that property?
that one was probably altogether 5 or 6 months.
Okay. Okay.
Usually our projects last anywhere from 6 weeks to 90 days, maybe. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it was a
That
big
a little
project.
bit longer. A little bit,
Yeah.
A lot more money though too as well.
A lot more headaches too. Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of
exactly,
headaches. Yeah,
exactly.
but I would do it over again.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so I enjoyed it.
In your property, where do you get your design ideas from? Do you do the design, or do you have
So
outside source?
yeah, I actually enjoy that part too. My
Okay.
wife is a big help with that.
Okay.
I study it. Pinterest on the internet, try to
Okay.
get ideas.
Okay.
And I'm a shopper. I love shopping, so it just works out.
One of my favorite sites, it's funny you say, is House.
Okay, yeah, I love
go
it
to House
too.
And I go
Yeah,
to Pinterest, and
yeah.
I get ideas actually from other little locations. Just how you see leather in a car, you
Right,
might see
yeah,
a pin.
absolutely.
So that's how I put just color schemes together
Yeah.
to myself as
I
well.
do that same thing, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Your houses look great too.
Oh,
I
thank
gotta
you,
say, yeah.
thank you. But I mean, yours, I got to say, hey, by far, I learned from you a little bit
Look
myself.
good.
So,
I'm
yeah.
happy I could help.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a house heist.
Why?
Well, first I look at the area and see really what are the trends. You really want to be ahead of that, really, because a lot of areas in Birmingham, like your Avondales and even, your areas of Norwood and those particular neighborhoods, people are already there. And so you really want to study your city to know what's to come and be ahead of that trend, so you'll be able to get in on the front side of the chain.
Coming up next, we show you how the right real estate investment can bring you income all day long.
It's a house heist.
So Matthew, a lot of people always ask me, how do I make money in this business?
Okay.
Or how do I get into this business?
Right.
I'm sure they ask you the same thing.
Yes.
What's
yes.
your advice to people
So-
that ask you those
Okay.
questions there?
I think the key thing is learn as much as you can, as quick as you can. We're in a great economy right now. The market's great. So you don't have a lot of time to get in there. But I'd say learn all you can.
Uh-huh.
Find other people like me and you who are really doing it, kind of learn from the older guys doing it. Maybe hire a coach. Things like that I think really help.
Okay.
Yeah, because I feel like if I had hired a coach or had access to that, I could probably be a lot quicker. a lot further than I am now, probably in the time I've been doing it.
A lot of people always ask me also, they ask me, like, where can I get money from? Or where do I need to go to get money? And that's one of the biggest questions in this business.
Okay.
I mean, but money alone is not going to make you successful in this business. Because as
Right.
you know, and
Absolutely.
I know, we both
Yeah.
have lost on properties
Yeah.
or broke even.
I've seen rich people go broke doing this too. Yeah. I would say, me personally, I've saved as much money as I could over the years, try to use my own money, use credit lines from banks. Local banks are willing to work with investors like us. Join your local RIA group, investor group, and meet other people, and usually you have lenders in those groups who can help you out.
What do you think the biggest mistake people make in this business right here?
I would say the number one thing that I see is people get into it expecting it to be easy, like making easy money. And I would say that it is so challenging to buy a house, get it remodeled, and flip. And I think that people sometimes are naive in watching the TV shows, and in a half hour they can do it. Why can't I? And so I would say probably not really understanding how difficult it's going to be.
Absolutely, absolutely. And a lot of people think they spend their profit before they make the money.
Absolutely, yes, I see that all the time, man. So it's a scary business. Like I said, it's really the market could change on you at the drop of a hat. Mm-hmm. I've had that happen over the years, and you just really have to be keened into how the market's doing. And if any changes are happening in the market, you need to make adjustments quickly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you see the future of home? I guess investing, real estate investing. What's next 2-3 years look like to you?
I feel good about it. I'm optimistic. I think that we probably have seen a correction already kind of happen slightly,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it'll continue to happen. But I think that Birmingham is such a strong market. I think real estate is local, so what's happening in Birmingham, what's happening in Miami might not be happening in Birmingham,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
So I feel like we're in a good market, and most places in the Southeast seem pretty stable to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah, and of course, like you said, Birmingham is its own market, and
Yeah.
what I'm seeing with Birmingham is, even though they predicting election time,
Yeah.
we still should be moving forward, because I think we're just in the infant stages of our real estate. That's how I look at it here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so, and hopefully it'll stay strong for 10 more years, and we'll,
Yeah.
life will be good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Matthew, I know you've invested in other markets. I've invested in other markets myself, other cities. Let's have a question for you. Is all real estate local?
Absolutely. I think that every market is unique, and I think that it's based on what's going on in that area, like jobs and growth. And I think that what's happening in your market
Yes.
and what's happening in LA or Miami is different, right?
Absolutely.
So I think it's absolutely local.
Matt, sometimes when we selling homes or when we flipping homes, we think we're going to get this much out of home. We might think we're going to get 500 out of home, but sometimes we only get that 450 out of home.
Right.
What's the driving force in that, you think, sometimes?
It happens to all of us. I think that at times you might overshoot the value of the house, which I've done many times. I think maybe the house doesn't turn out as well as you hoped,
Yes.
which could happen. So I listen to feedback from the showings. I think that, if interest rates creep up a little bit, I think that could also hurt the buyer's bottom line on their payment. And I think that it'll drive prices down too sometimes.
Okay.
Usually what I have found is your first offer is your best offer. And there are times where I will fight that first offer. I won't want to accept it, but a lot of times it makes sense.
Okay. I like that.
The holding cost on a flip can usually can sometimes exhaust your profits, right, over
Absolutely.
time. So I like to move them as quick as I can.
Absolutely. And for, I guess, our audience out there, I guess you let them know what a holding cost, what
So
constitutes a holding cost.
holding costs is your property taxes, your insurance on the property, your carrying costs as far as utilities, your interest on your loan or your hard money, whatever. Those things really start adding up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and sometimes at the end of the day, you only break even when you
Right.
try to carry it too long and wait for that extra $25,000 or $40,000
Right.
to try to get off the property.
Yes.
Me personally, what I've learned is I have a percentage that I'm looking to make off each property. break it down to 10%, 20% return on my money, or 30% return on my money. And if that falls within that, I just keep it moving.
Okay.
So that's how I look
absolutely,
at it for myself
absolutely,
personally,
Smart.
Coming up, how to make money online. I talk short-term rentals with the Matthew Gregory.
So we're sitting here with Matthew Gregory. Thank you for taking time to meet with us today as well.
Dude, yeah, thank you. It's been great.
I really appreciate it. Like I said, you're the legend, so it's great sitting here next to you. But I want to talk to you about, short-term rentals.
Okay.
You got different platforms for short-term rentals,
Right.
and that's also another way to make more money out of your property.
Right.
What do you think about short-term rentals?
I like them. I've gotten involved in that a little bit, and I like the income opportunity. Again, it takes a lot of work.
Absolutely.
And managing these properties is kind of tough. So and getting them cleaned and stuff. So it does take a lot more work than your traditional long-term rentals.
And when you say a lot more work, what do you mean? Like,
Well, just interacting with your guest.
okay.
Planning, the how to book and all that, and even the cleaning and keeping the place stocked, and all those things.
What is your biggest hurdle you've noticed so far in the short-term rental? Like me personally, I notice you all the time, you don't know your guest. You don't know if that's the real person that's checking in.
Right.
So
Yes.
that's a big thing to me. Like you might call them on the phone and they're like, what are you talking about? But somebody else might be in your place. But what have you noticed this?
So we really check our guests out really well. When they try to book, we check their IDs and their reviews.
Okay.
And hopefully whichever platform they book through, they've had reviews. And if they haven't, we usually do not book them.
Oh, that's a good way to do it, yeah.
So,
and I've made that mistake myself.
Okay.
I booked somebody who didn't have any reviews. I was like, you know what, let me just give them a try. And
That's
they had a
important.
wild party, so.
Yeah, right. I don't want any of that.
You're right. Do you think the future of, renting,
Okay.
leasing,
Okay.
is headed towards short-term rentals, or do you think the long-term is still?
Well, I think that it's a competitor with hotels. So I don't think, I think long-term rentals will always be strong because people have to live somewhere. But I think for vacationing, visiting other cities, I think that it's a good opportunity possibly for property owners.
Okay. And, what I've also noticed, like a lot of people who have homes, they have a little extra bedroom in their homes. They might lease it out to a short
So I've
term.
never really understood that. That would kind of worry me to have a stranger in the house. But hey, I think there's opportunity, and if you want to take the risk, try it. Yeah, sure.
Absolutely, because like you said, it's people always ask us how to make money.
Yeah.
So we've given you a way how to make money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Matthew, as an investor, do you think the profit in short-term rentals are too big to ignore?
Okay, that's a good question. Here's how I feel. I feel like as an investor, you need to find your niche that you enjoy doing,
Absolutely.
that you're good at doing,
Absolutely.
and you need to focus on that and kind of have tunnel vision and get that going, making money.
Absolutely.
So if that's an avenue you want to dive into, I think it's profitable.
Mm-hmm.
Just like anything else, it is a lot of work.
Absolutely.
So and it's risky because to get one set up, you're going to spend 10, 20, 30 grand.
Absolutely.
Just having it furnished and ready to rent, and it's a big investment.
Absolutely.
So-
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. Appreciate
Absolutely,
your time
brother.
today. I really
Yes,
do.
Yes, thank
Pleasure
you.
meeting you.
Yeah, you too, man.
Yes, sir.
Coming up next on House Heist.
Honestly, me, I was thinking about making money while I sleep. That's the way to become absolutely financial free is to have streams of revenue coming in where, when you sleep, it's still coming. Right. If you don't feel like getting up in the morning, it's still gonna come. So this is one of our first projects for financial freedom. I mean, think about it. You're getting $750 a month for 20 units. It's 15 grand a month. Just good cash flow, and then you get to clean up the neighborhood. It's an older neighborhood too, so a lot of people in this neighborhood is older, and they tired of seeing stuff that looks bad. So that's what it is. It's been fun. It's been challenging too at the same time. So just ready to get everybody in here and call it home. Because I want to build a pavilion on the backside of each one of them so they can barbecue and all that kind of stuff back there. So when they entertain their grandkids come over, stuff like that, they have someone to come.
And it was right here downtown.
Yeah, that is. I mean, you paid $100,000 for the place. A 20-unit apartment complex, you paid $100,000 for it. Ain't nowhere in the world you can get that. Only in Birmingham, Alabama, you can get something like that. And other cities that have dilapidated areas, so that's why. And then once I got into it, I was like, okay, we can make this nice. We can actually make an impact.
And it literally is a whole city block.
It's a whole city block. And then you're right here by the fire station. You got the police department down the street, you got a pharmacy. And our original plan when we first bought it was to make it for seniors, so they can have somewhere to be. Because this is an older area, so people around here, they can't afford to keep their house up anymore. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to make it for an area where they can come in and be like, okay, this is cool. Honestly, when I bought it, we weren't thinking about it.
We weren't thinking about
Honestly, me, I was thinking about making money while I sleep. That's the way to become absolutely financial free is to have streams of revenue coming in where, when you sleep, it's still coming. Right. If you don't feel like getting up in the morning, it's still gonna come. So this is one of our first projects for financial freedom. Now we bought other projects in the past, but nothing to this magnitude where we had to come in and rehab the entire place. And it's been a long project. I learned a lot doing this project. Well, I grew up in the inner city myself, so when I grew up in the inner city, it wasn't like it is now, but you had people looking out for each other. However, it wasn't the best of quality of living either though. So I said when I got older, I wanted to do something different. I wanted to give you a quality of living in the inner city for a reasonable price. So that's the reason for everything. Yeah. And also you can make a trend. I mean, you
really can. And we've done that
property
before.
in an area, you can make a trend. Like we noticed when we flip homes, we'll buy 4 or 5 properties in that one area and just go in and just change the whole area. You do that, you change the whole dynamics of the neighborhood. So now people who were normally there that couldn't live there or couldn't sell their home, now they can sell their homes. Mm-hmm. Because we created comps where each year is going up, each year is going up. Now we put money in their pocket, so they're happy. So when they sell their house, they can make money.
And you have even appraisers, like calling as a realtor, I have appraisers reaching out to me all the time because they'll see my name on the last 3 or 4 deals, like he said, and say, how do you get this? Tell me about this property. How did you get these numbers? And they'll actually call me. They're the professionals, but we're turning the neighborhood around. And so that makes a difference.
But as far as the inner city, though, it's a little different with the inner city. Those are like neighborhoods. This right here in the inner city is like, you might have this nice complex here, but on the other street you might have dilapidated homes. So it's the same process. You got to start. This right here is a whole city block, so you're making a whole difference right now.
But you're starting somewhere.
But you got to start somewhere. And then 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8. So you just keep on moving, and that's how you don't have to necessarily follow a trend. You can create your own trend with the right amount of space.
I thought he was crazy when he bought this. Like crazy. Dead bodies, dead dogs. I mean rats. Roach infested, bananas. Yeah.
And people were still living here with no running water and no electricity. They was actually stealing electricity just to live here. So we had to ask people politely to leave. And they actually obliged, so that was good about that.
So this episode was all about making money while you sleep.
Yeah, I'm kind of sleepy right now. But this place is ready for a tenant, so let's get them in here so we can go to sleep.
Join us next time
on House Heist.
The tools to make the moves, the keys for what you need. Opportunity knocking, yeah. They got the right price. This ain't no game. It's a house heist. It's a house heist.
Around here we call it a house heist, meaning get the knowledge before you discuss price. So when investments knock, you be there to answer. Then you can be the boss just like Tony Danza. Talk to him. Gab and Herb gon' hit you with the word. So open up your mind and be prepared to learn the best tips for the flip. Yo, it's lit. I'm talking larger stakes on larger stakes.
Come on. It's a house heist.